Look, everyone, y'all need to subscribe and like this video, man, right now. I don't even care if you enjoyed the video. I don't care if you like Kamala, don't like Kamala. I don't care what you need to like this video just because of what I had to go through to get this build for you guys, man. So look, yesterday I spent 4-5 hours, bro, farming an elite vault just to get a piece of gear that did not want to drop. Do you know the stress? Matter of fact, y'all do know the stress, bro. Y'all know what that's like. Y'all know how this game is with the loot and stuff, bro. That's what I had to go through just to make this build right for y'all. All y'all brutal junkies, that's like, yo, you're not playing on brutal, bro. I can play on brutal, bro. Like, I can do it. You're seeing the video right now. I'm playing on brutal. Y'all happy? Dang, like, y'all don't understand the amount of stress that I went through to get this build. But welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Big Cat 188. If you are new, subscribe to the channel. If you guys do end up enjoying this video, like it. But in today's video, we'll be doing a Kamala Khan Miss Marvel build for you guys. Now, this build is very, very strong and brutal. Now, if you guys do not know, Miss Marvel is not like everybody else. She does not have the damage output of like Thor, Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, none of them, all that. She's more of a bruiser tank, so you want to prioritize might, resolve, and valor. Those are your three stats that you really want to focus on. I've tried focusing on intensity. I've tried focusing on like a valor, proficiency, resolve build mixed with a little bit of intensity. Like, none of those seemed to work. I was getting completely obliterated on brutal, and I know a lot of you guys love to play on brutal, man, just because y'all want the best loot and all that, and y'all think anybody that plays on anything less than brutal is complete trash, you know, even though we're just trying to have fun just like y'all, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, there are a few things that I have noticed about Miss Marvel and a few little tricks and tips, man, that I'm about to tell you guys right now before we get into the build that you guys probably should know if you guys want to maximize your gameplay with her, man. So look, for combat purposes only, if you guys are playing with Miss Marvel, there's probably two things you probably should know. Your square, your light attacks or whatever, that is gonna be your best friend. Trying to spam the Fist of Fury or whatever on every single ad is going to make you go crazy. Do not do it. Using the light attack is probably your best option when playing melee. The light attack is more of like a mid-range attack, and if enemies are really close to you, your best option is pressing triangle and using the heavy attacks. Fist of Fury, the little cannonball, catapult kick, and all that stuff. Those are your best options when somebody is extremely close to you. So square when they're mid-range to you, and if they're right next to you, press triangle, man. Use your heavy attacks. Other than that, Miss Marvel is not the Hulk, so if you go in biggin, you will still be staggered by some of these little peasant ads, man. They're still going to stagger you and stuff. I know a lot of you guys hated that with the Hulk, that you could be staggered, until I showed you guys, you know, you keep spamming that bone armor and you'll be straight. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Kamala, you know, she does not have that luxury. So dodging and then being evasive is really up her alley. So you really just want to make her tanky, because you might take a lot of hits, bro. Sometimes it's really hard to dodge every single hit, especially when you know how it is playing by yourself. All the ads target you no matter what, man. You could have Hulk, Captain America, Thor all hitting one ad, and that very ad they're hitting will still beat you up. It will still be shooting lasers and trying to go after you. You know how it is. But yeah, man, let's hop straight into the build, guys. It's enough of me rambling on. We are going to go through this fairly quickly with the abilities. For the support, we are going with Will to Live with one additional charge. Also, by the way, guys, real quick, it seems like with Miss Marvel, I don't know if you guys are having this problem, but a lot of my skill points aren't even there. It's only this one, and in the mastery tree I do not have this middle intrinsic, as you guys can see. I don't know, do you guys have that problem as well? Let me know down in the comments below. But like I said, we're gonna go through this fairly fast. So first part, Will to Live, additional charge of the ability, pretty much. Second part, we are going to increase the duration of this for 8 seconds, and you guys will see why. It's going to deal with a piece of gear that I literally spent 300 years farming for, but keep that in mind. You want inner peace. Assault heroics, I have down low, just, you know, fling people back if they do get too close. For the second part, I have you know, if I do happen to kill somebody, they drop a heroic orb. One thing to note about Miss Marvel, if you are playing with actual like people, you want to change all of these ones that say heroic orbs. You want to change them to regen packs, because you know there's better characters to drop heroic orbs like Hulk and Captain America. For the ultimate heroic ability, we're gonna extend them biggin for 5 seconds, and we're also gonna opt for the more crit attack damage for them biggin. We would pick the other one, but you know, 1 second really isn't that much, so I don't care about that. For mastery tree, we are going to rock with this, the heroic energy master, because every time we hit, we get 1% of our heroics. So that's going to help us get our heroics back way faster. For the second part, we are going to get, the combo finisher is really the only option. Like, unless you're range build, like this is the only option that you really have. Unless you're making a stun build, this is the only option that you have. Get this right here, 25% combo finishers. Last part, heroic orb. You want the one that spawns the heroic orb when you do a takedown. Like I said, if you're playing with friends, get the regen pack. Shit, you might even want the regen pack if you're playing by yourself, to be honest. Range concussive blast, that is the one you want. It allows you to apply status effects if you are rocking that kind of a build, and it hits everybody in that little mini area. For the second part, holding on to an enemy, I don't really do it too much, but that's probably the best option that you have, just so you don't drain the life out of your intrinsic meter. The last part, heroic orb for slamming and throwing. Like I said, regen pack if you are playing with friends. For the efficiency tree, we're going to opt for the first one. We're going to reduce the activation cost of our intrinsic ability. This is by far the best option that you have, just because that polymorph damage is going to come in clutch. For the middle one, like I said, we're going to opt for more damage when we are using our intrinsic attacks, our polymorph abilities and stuff. And for the last one, we are going to have the increase the maximum amount, just so we have a little bit more space to keep calling in our polymorph attacks and stuff. Now for the last part, I don't even have the middle one, but if you were going to get the middle one, get the first part if you do have this unlocked. For the left one, we do have reduced the intrinsic cost for polymorph attacks, just so we don't drain, because this is where we're going to get the majority of our damage is through the intrinsic meter. So yeah, we don't want to drain this too much or too fast, so we have this one. And then for the last part, we have the sixth sense to increase the parry window of our hip check ability. All right guys, now for the gear. The way you build Kamala, guys, and I found this out the hard way, man, you want to prioritize your statistics over everything. Do not prioritize gear perks over your statistics, okay? You're not going to enjoy playing with her if you do this. So I went with, like I said before, you want might, resolve, and valor. So for my bracers, I have might and resolve. The gear perks aren't too bad. Like even the first part, light, combo finishers, and all that stuff give me heroic charge. For the most part, you want anything that gives you more damage for your heavy attacks, things that give you willpower burst, and then you only need one damage buff in your build. Those are pretty much the things you want. So now if I was to choose what piece of gear that I could have for my melee, it would be this right here. This is like a perfect combination of everything I just said. It gives me the critical attacks give me a willpower boost. The only problem with this is why I took it off is because it gave me resilience and valor, and the valor is not too much of the problem more than the resilience. I did not want that or needed it. You really do need that melee rating, that might, to be high to increase your melee rating. Now for my range piece of gear, I have valor and resolve for my statistics. All the other gear perks really just do not matter. They're pretty solid gear perks if you had a range build, I'm not gonna lie, but they just do not matter at all. I really don't use the heavy or the range attack unless I'm hitting the drones out the sky. Now for the chest piece, you have so many options that are actually very good, but like I said, since we are prioritizing stats, we have valor and resolve. Honestly, all of these perks are so trash, bro. I don't even like perfect evade that often, so I never get that heroic charge burst. I'd rather it be that one where it says you take damage and you get a damage boost. That would be so perfect. Like I have so many of these chest pieces because I was farming that elite vault like crazy, and they just kept giving me these chest pieces right here, the marvelous ones, and none of them give me might and resolve or like valor and resolve, so I don't even use it anymore. But if you were to do like a support build, this would be a pretty solid pick, but we're not doing a support build. We're like a bruiser tank because a lot of people do play by themselves, and you do need to do some damage at the end of the day. Now for our last piece, our heroic piece of gear, this is what I farmed so freaking long for, literally 5 hours of my existence farming for this piece of gear that would not drop, man. And what kind of made me mad is that the stats on it were not at what I wanted. I wanted them to be at least in the 50s for especially how long it took, but the 30s, whatever. But this is a very good piece of gear. Just look at the gear perks. You get a damage buff when activating Team Spirit, and you also get a crit chance bonus when activating Team Spirit. And that is exactly why for my skills on the support tree, I got this version right here, which has the residual effects that last 8 seconds longer, because it does make it last 8 seconds longer. So it gives you a 20% damage buff, and it also gives you a 35% crit chance. Like I said, guys, my gear perks are not perfect. I do need a damage buff to increase my crit chance for my melee rating and all that stuff, but I do not have that. I have to farm more pieces of gear. But this is the overall way you need to build your Kamala. You definitely want this piece of gear for your melee. You definitely want this right here, this piece of gear right here, but you need might and resolve or might and valor, whatever your stats end up being. And then for these two pieces, they're really just for stats stat purposes on your range and your chest. They're for stat purposes only. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys get the gear perks that I cannot get along with the stats, but I'm not about to farm my life away trying to find the most perfect gear perks. That would take literally probably like a week. But this build does do well in brutal, so I'm very, very happy with this build. So for the last part is my minor artifacts, and I have might for both of them. I chose might for both of these. The first part, I do have the heavyweight breaker, which is perfect, increase my power attacks. And honestly, I do not want the assault hero charge rate. I'd rather have support or the ultimate, but it's really whatever. You just want 2 might or however you guys choose it. I'm going to show you guys my stats in a little bit. So as long as you are having, like, you know, everything is might, resolve, and valor, you're going to be straight no matter what your artifact setup or your gear stat setup are looking like. So for your major artifact, right now I have on a Tactagon, but like I said, I don't even have that much intensity to really even apply hardly any status effects on any enemies. So I'd rather put on either the Sacred Nornstone, the Lethal Will if I were you guys, or I would put on the ring, just so for when I do have heroic orbs, I can get my support heroic ability back faster and I get that damage buff for my heroic piece of gear back faster. But because I had leveled this up already, I just have on the Tactagon just because it is level 6 and it does give me that, you know, more power rating. So all in all, this is what my heroic statistics are looking like. I have 290 might. My proficiency is pretty low at 38. My valor is 112. My resolve is 162. And it really does help out a lot because my max willpower is 16,000. My critical damage is 207. And like I said, if you do end up getting this piece of gear right here for your might, that will be increased by another 135% for your polymorph attacks, which is pretty much what we'll be hitting people with. So that'll pretty much go from 207 to all the way up to 350 something or whatever. And our melee damage is sitting around at 1900 damage, which is actually a pretty dang solid amount. But yeah, guys, this is the Miss Marvel build that allows me to play on brutal. I know how y'all brutal junkies, man. I know how y'all are. So this is the build for you guys. Like I said, I don't have the most perfect setup, man. It's really hard to get these gear perks. They probably need to add in a system for that. Let me know if you guys do like the build down in the comments below. Let me know if you guys have a better build that utilizes more intensity or something like that. And if you guys just have, you know, a different build, because I'll be down to, you know, farm for it, try it out, and just see how it works inside of brutal and stuff. And yeah, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you are new. We're having a lot more Avengers build guys coming out, a lot more Avengers gameplays coming out. And yeah, guys, like and subscribe. I'm Big Cat 188 and I'm out. Peace.